Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to Wasted Lunch. It is 11:47 Oven Standard Time. And it is Thursday. Thursday the 30th, right? Yeah. That's pretty good, I got that right. How we doing, guys? I am ready to do Wasted Lunch. Convenience, eh? Got my coffee, got my smokes. Hope you do as well. Well, not smokes necessarily. We all know that's bad for you, but pull up a seat, crack open your lunch, and waste some time with me, all right? Thursday. What significance is Thursday in the week, huh? I guess
the day before Friday?
Big deal is it's the day before Friday. It's a bigger deal that than being the day after Wednesday, isn't it? A lot of people are looking forward to Friday. TGIF. Well, that it is not yet. But it is Thursday, which is pretty doggone close. Just got back home. Had to do some running around today. But still got to be here on time, actually a little early. That's always cool. So what's happening out there, guys? Anybody out there ready to converse with me? Oh my. Yesterday got a hell of a rainstorm at the end of the day. You had that scorching hot day, and then all of a sudden at the end, scorching hot. Well, at the beginning of the day it was scorching hot, then we get a damn rainstorm, which caused all kinds of flooding, and so I had to go out driving around during the rain and ran into some very iffy spots on the road. Some I had to try and completely avoid altogether, so that, I mean, a few roads were impassable. So I had to find alternate routes from here and the next town over, which would be Canton. But anyways, what's happening, guys? I feel good today. I'm drinking coffee and actually have creamer in it. Okay, last couple days I've been drinking coffee with milk in it. And coffee with milk in it does not thrill me. You know, I hate to be a little coffee snob or debutante, but you throw the milk in there. What's up, Shawn? How we doing, dude? How we doing, buddy? Just started going on a rant about, let's see, I'm trying to see what the little symbols are. Are those eyeballs looking at me, Shawn? Hey, dude. I was just talking about coffee and with milk. It doesn't thrill me. The milk chills out my coffee, makes it cold, and when you're using 2% milk, it's not very creamy. So you're doing good. I'm doing pretty good, dude. I was just saying I'm happy because today my coffee actually has creamer in it. For a few days there, we were without creamer, so ended up just having my coffee with milk in it, which less than pleasurable experience, I guess I'd say. Don't get me wrong, I'll use milk in a pinch, and you know, but when it's 2% milk, it's not that creamy, you know what I mean? Oh, you like your coffee with milk? Yeah, see, I don't know, I guess I prefer creamer. Maybe it's from, you know, I've been drinking coffee for about, let me try and figure this out here, okay? Probably about 28 years I've been drinking coffee. About 28 years I've been drinking coffee. So maybe after drinking coffee a specific way for that long, you know, anytime there's a little change to it. It just doesn't seem normal to me. I can have a radical change to my coffee, like, getting one of those fancy cappuccino flavored jobs every now and then. I don't drink those on a regular basis. Hell, I can't afford to drink that stuff on a regular basis. Starbucks and those fancy little kiosks with their super coffees, yeah. That stuff is very expensive. What's up, Matt? I wonder if Matt's actually going to stay on here and comment. I think Matt's one of those guys who just kind of looks for a minute and then keeps on going. I don't think I've gotten him to respond yet. Maybe he's comment shy. I don't know. But luckily you aren't, Sean. Let's see. Let's try something interesting, Sean. Let me try inviting your ass into the show, okay? You mind? You mind I invite you on? Would you like that? Or are you funky about that right now? So we could try that right now. Slap you on the show. And we could just talk live, which is a lot easier than the commenting thing. You feel up to it? Just let me know, yes or no. It's not going to hurt my feelings either way. But, let's see. Maybe after you're done eating. Yeah, might not want to be on here stuffing your mouth full of food, huh? While you're on here. Me asking you questions and French fries flying out of your mouth or something. That probably wouldn't be very... it'd be entertaining, anyways. But, let's see, the other day, what the hell were we? I don't know what the hell brings us up, but, I know what brings us up. My wife has all these, smart alecky comments. I guess you'd call them analogies when somebody does something stupid or says something that's not too bright. She'll say, that's like this and that, or they're like this and that. And she said something the other day about that's like a chicken carrying its own axe. And I thought that was very funny. I don't know. Maybe you had to be there, but it was funny shit. And she said that comment. I visualize these things, my wife says. I'm picturing a chicken carrying an axe for its own head to be cut off, and I thought, you know what, that would be a stupid chicken, so it's a good analogy. Chicken carrying its own axe, how stupid. And that's what she was using it for, to refer to somebody being stupid. But I think I hear a tape measure being used in another room. Oh no. Maybe my wife has ideas for a project. Oh no. And I say oh no because, let's see, you don't want to see a chicken carrying an axe. Well, I got this thing when somebody says something off the wall like that, I visualize, I literally picture what they're talking about, and that, I don't know, I guess that gives me cheap thrills, I guess. Amusement. But, yeah, I think I hear a tape measure. Okay, let me get you a little closer here. And the problem with the tape measure is, oh, you're saying that chicken might turn on me. Yeah, that would be bad. That would be frightening, huh? Getting chased down with by an axe-wielding chicken. Okay. Let me get back to what I was saying. I think I hear a tape measure being used, which means my wife might be thinking about a project, and engulfing on a project. Why does that concern me? Because if she does, she'll start out on it, have problems, and then I'll be called in on it. And when I get on it, then I've got to undo any mistakes that were already made. I don't mind having projects, but I want to be in on the very beginning of them, the planning stages, the looking out for possible pitfalls and things that may come about during the project. But I don't like coming in on a project after it's already been started. And that's what happens. So she might be doing that. And if she does that, like I said, she usually ends up having problems, things get messed up, and then yours truly has to come in and try to save the day. And sometimes saving the day is a lot of damn work. Sometimes saving the day is more work than actually starting the project in the very beginning and doing it the way I would. I'm not saying I'm perfect at everything, okay? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that happens a lot. My wife will have, I don't want to call them delusions of grandeur, but she'll have these great big ideas, and she'll start on them, and then things will sometimes fall apart, and then I'll be called in and undoing lots of stuff. See, does she tell you the mistakes she made? Well, how it really usually happens is she starts on it and things start getting wonky or crooked or not coming together right, and it ends up being something that you look at, and I do one of these faces. You know, I try not to do it right in front of her. Okay, so even if I'm not physically, okay, I'm mentally doing that face, and, you know, I'll look at what's going on and be like, oh, shit. What's she doing here? And, but, you know, so she won't tell me necessarily what mistakes she made, but she'll be more like, it just doesn't seem to, or it doesn't want to do this, kind of like the project itself is not cooperating with her. And that doesn't mean that, well, I don't know what the hell that means, but that's usually what happens. She doesn't usually say, I messed up or whatever, you know. Maybe sometimes she says that, but usually it's like the project, it's almost like there's something inherently in the materials or the project itself that is causing her trouble. You know, she'll say, you know, well, I planned on it being this way, but it's not coming out that way. I hear that sometimes too. And yeah, if she sees this show, she's gonna want to divorce me or something probably, but that's what happens a lot of the time. So when I hear a tape measure in the other room, you know, I kind of start to get that look on my face. Just, I'm not a soothsayer or a prophet per se, but I kind of see these things off in the distance. You know, I see the storm clouds gathering, and I'm going to have to stop talking about it because things are getting quiet. She might come in, so. Like I said, she sees this and she's going to want to beat me or something. Sure, she's done a great job before. Yes, not everything has turned out. You know, some things have been started and finished and came out all right. But not all of them. Not all of them. Okay, I hear the vacuum cleaner again. I'm safe to talk for a little bit longer. First I heard a tape measure, then I hear a vacuum cleaner. I don't know what the hell's going on in there. I can only speculate right now. Like I said, I'm speculating while I hear that vacuum cleaner running. That's my safe zone. That's my safe time to actually talk about this stuff. Because if that goes off, then I've got to, you know, start talking about something entirely different. Does not have to do with her. You see in the background there, guys, you might see a half wallpapered wall. I have to finish that wall. Problem was I ran out of wallpaper paste. So, you say, well, Paul, just go get some damn wallpaper paste. Well, yeah, that's a great idea. If you got wallpaper paste money. I don't. So, what I've been thinking about doing, I don't know if you can see that back there. Wallpaper goes all the way up to there and then stops right about there. Been thinking about, I got a large container of Elmer's glue, and I am toying with the idea of using that. Oh, here's Shawn. You heard about a hurricane forming in the Atlantic. Hopefully it doesn't ruin my vacation. Oh shit, yeah. That's right. I just heard something about a hurricane hitting Puerto Rico or something and killing, lots of people. I think it was Puerto Rico. Thousands and thousands of people have perished in it, unfortunately. And maybe that's the same hurricane you're talking about. But, hopefully, worst comes to worst, you don't get to go boogie boarding, but you don't, have a mudslide and buildings collapse on your ass while you're out there, I wouldn't want that to happen, but I hope it doesn't hurt your vacation. But if it is the same hurricane, it done already formed and wreaked havoc on the, I think Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands or something like that. I'm not sure, but, yeah, that is something to be concerned about. See, the waves will probably make for some good boogie boarding. That's true. That's true. I saw pictures when that hurricane was hitting Hawaii, or approaching Hawaii. I seen pictures and video of dudes going out there and riding those waves that were, big waves coming in because of the hurricane. Gonna get some more coffee. So, yeah, you might have that. You might have the side effect of having some better waves to ride on.
Do you want some toast?
Yes, please. Everything going all right?
Yeah, why?
Oh, you sound out of breath.
I am. I'm vacuuming that 4x there.
Yeah, when exactly are you going to North Carolina anyways, dude?
Who's going? Who's this?
Shawn Stout.
Man, he keeps on going on.
Oh, I know.
Crap.
This dude, he cannot keep his ass still. He's vacation man. Let's see, it probably isn't the safest thing to do to go boogie boarding during a hurricane or surfing. Yeah, probably not, but
I do it all the time.
Oh, my wife said she does it all the time.
And I'm still here.
Yeah. She's still kicking. Let's see. Okay, you got 2 weeks before you leave.
Jeez.
Well, yeah, 2 weeks. He done went on a road trip with his dudes.
Went to Gettysburg.
Went to Gettysburg. Now his ass going to North Carolina, go boogie boarding. Then he doesn't even start school till January. Yeah.
I'll trade you lives.
Yeah, he's living the good life right now,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, you are. Enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy it while you can. Well, you're 19, and, it's good to have some adventure.
Yeah.
Before you end up getting,
Before you end up getting pregnant.
Yeah, before you end up getting pregnant or something like that, my wife said. Then you're going to have trouble.
From there.
But, yeah, it's good to get out and have some fun before, you get tied into a job and don't have any freedom, Just watched a movie. For the first time last night, watched a movie, the Justice League movie. Ever see that Justice League movie? I saw it. Let's see. Shawn said he doesn't think that's scientifically possible. Getting pregnant, no. No, I guess it isn't, but it was a joke. But let's see, you did see the Justice League movie. I'm guessing that's what you mean I have, unless you're saying I have been pregnant before. I'm being a smart ass.
As always.
Yeah, I watched the Justice League movie. I never even really heard of it, to be honest with you. I've been living in a cable-free world for years now. And so I'd never heard of it before. And I watch it, and you gotta understand, I never watched Batman versus Superman. The whole idea of it kind of pissed me off anyways. You know, Batman and Superman fighting, that rubbed me the wrong way. What's up, Mike? Let's see. You have mixed feelings towards the movie. Yeah, well, start watching this Justice League movie, and they're like, well, Superman's dead. I'm like, what the hell is going on? How the hell did Superman die? Well, I didn't know, thank you. I didn't know that this was a sequel to Batman versus Superman. And
Batman killed Superman?
I never watched Batman versus Superman, so, but yeah, it starts out the movie, and they're talking about Superman's ass being dead, and I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? And it's like, Superman dead, how the hell did he die? Well, I've never seen Batman versus Superman, so I was thrown off by that. And so I guess I'd have to see Batman versus Superman to see it. But like I said, when I first heard about the Batman versus Superman, I was like, that's some horse shit, man. I mean, two good guys are going to be fighting each other. It just doesn't seem right, you know. But Justice League movie, what was my opinion on it? I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was really enjoyable. However, it's funny about that movie because you got real superheroes. I mean, with superpowers. You got the Flash, you got Wonder Woman, you got Aquaman, and then you got Batman. And I'll tell you what, that movie didn't do Batman a lot of, they didn't prop up Batman too much in that movie, did they? You know, because they're fighting these kind of otherworldly type super villains, and Batman just wasn't worth a whole hell of a lot against those guys. If you know, that's the way I saw it. You know, Batman's main contribution, really, in my feeling about the movie, was the biggest thing Batman did was assemble this team of superheroes. He really didn't have the capability to do a lot of ass kicking. You know, he just didn't. You know, he had his gadgets, he had his vehicles and that, which only did so much good. There's not much showboating in that movie for Batman, which I can handle that. I never, and I probably especially could handle that more if I watched that Batman versus Superman. Because I don't know, did Batman kill him? Did Batman kill Superman? If so, how the hell did he do it without kryptonite? Because...
Didn't they resurrect him?
Well, yeah, in the movie, in the Justice League, they end up resurrecting Superman. They used some box of magic shit. They were... Let's see. It was better than Batman and Robin, is your feeling. Well, like I said, I never saw it, and I don't know if Batman straight up killed Superman. If so, I don't understand it because I haven't seen the movie. But now that I've watched Justice League, now I want to find out the answers. Okay. Although, like I said, the whole idea of Superman and Batman fighting each other does not thrill me. You know, it maybe I'm a little naive, or that's just the young the childlike spirit still within me that says, these are superheroes. They're not supposed to be fighting one another. I still have that in me because I think that's what superheroes and the comics are all about, Oh, yeah, yes, Sean, I did finish the Godfather trilogy, yes. And I must say that I found the third Godfather movie a hell of a lot better than the second one, okay? I was bored senseless with the second Godfather movie. I watched it. I watched every second of it. I paid attention during the whole second Godfather movie, but I was bored. Okay, but I watched the third one, and I must say it was 5 times better than the second one for sure. Okay. The Vatican ends up being brought into this, and the Pope is being talked about in this. Let's see, the Archbishop gets killed, gets murdered in the movie. There's a lot of intrigue involved.
Who's a shady bastard?
You enjoyed all 3 of them. Did you enjoy all 3 of them equally, or did you have a favorite amongst the 3, Sean? Because, personally, I like the first one the best. Okay. Which is kind of weird because a lot of the times when it comes to trilogies, I tend to enjoy the middle one more than the first or last. That's a tendency. So, but out of the Godfather, I like the first one the best. Your favorite was number 1 also. Yeah. Now my wife, Teresa, you liked the third one the best, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, she liked the third one the best.
Or
it's toss up.
The first one was the best.
Oh, you do think the first one was best?
I enjoyed the third one just as much as I enjoyed.
But you enjoyed the third one as much as the first one.
Yes.
But you still think the first one, standalone movie,
yes,
is the best. Yeah, so did I. The second one, and how I kind of rate that out of a trilogy like that, how I kind of look at that is I think to myself, which one of these 3 movies would I want to rewatch again the soonest?
The first.
And that's the first one,
I would watch the first and the third.
I don't see a need to watch the second one again.
That's why I didn't like, I really want to watch the second one.
The ending of Godfather Part 3, that threw me off. Them leaving the opera theater and his daughter getting killed, I sure as hell didn't see that happening. That was tragic. It was kind of weird though, that movie with the whole, his daughter was having a thing with his nephew. That was kind of nasty, wasn't it? Yeah. That was funky.
Well, that's why they killed her off, so they didn't have to explain 2-headed babies.
Oh. Teresa said they killed her off so that they wouldn't have to explain 2-headed babies. But, that was weird how they were having their getting it on relationship. That was very uncomfortable for me to watch. I know it's a film, I know it's a movie, but in order to enjoy the movie at all, you kind of got to get wrapped up in it, and you kind of got to pretend while you watch it.
Just because I'm your first cousin, 8 times removed.
Let's see. Sean doesn't ever think there's going to be a 4th film. Probably not. Now, I read somewhere that Mario Puzo, hope I'm saying it right, was going to work on a 4th book.
Did you see me take one of these?
No, I didn't, but that doesn't mean you didn't. I read that Mario Puzo was planning on writing a 4th book with the intention of it for a 4th movie, but he passed away before that could be done. So Yeah, who knows? Maybe somebody in the future, some people in Hollywood are gonna say, "Hey, this is a guaranteed moneymaker. Let's make our own damn Godfather 4 story." But they don't have Mario Puzo to do it.
And half the people that were in it are dead.
Yeah, well, quite a few people who were in it
are make it off,
dead or very old. But
Andy Garcia's character.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because he was the new Don.
Let's see. Do I like crime movies? Yes, I do like crime movies. And speaking of The Godfather, I like movies about organized crime also. There's a movie called State of Grace, which was about some Irish mobsters in Manhattan over in Hell's Kitchen during the 80s and 90s. And that was inspired by some real life Irish gangsters who operated in those parts of New York City. And that was pretty good. Starred Sean Penn and Robin Wright, who ended up marrying Sean Penn. And Gary Oldman was in it. And out of the three of them, I would have to say Gary Oldman's character and his acting was definitely the most exciting about the movie. Because, let's see, which one did I like better, Goodfellas or Casino? Oh, that's a problem for me, and I'll tell you why. I'll be honest with you, I have not seen Casino. Haven't seen it. I've seen Goodfellas. Love the movie. Another Martin Scorsese movie, and I'm a fan of many of his flicks, but I have not seen Casino. To be honest with you, I have not seen it.
It's a good film, but I would say that Goodfellas is better.
Okay.
I've seen
My wife has an opinion on it because she's seen it.
But it is a good film.
She thinks Casino's good, but she liked Goodfellas better.
Yeah.
Now, is Casino set like during the beginning of Las Vegas turning into a big town or not?
It's
like during the 40s and 50s or 50s.
No, it's more like when the mob started getting into it in like the 50s and 60s. So.
Have I seen The Departed? Yes, I have seen The Departed. And I have read a lot about the people who have inspired that story about Whitey Bulger and with the Winter Hill Gang in Boston. I've done a lot of reading about that. And hello, Tracy. How we doing? Talking about mob movies right now. I did like The Departed. That was a good flick. But now that you mention it, I'm going to have, Casino's going to have to go on my to-watch list. I'm going to have to check that picture out.
Excuse me.
A movie that I really, really liked a lot, one of my favorite mobster movies, is a movie called Once Upon a Time in America. I don't know, have you seen that one, Sean? That was, I love the movie. It's made by Sergio Leone, who probably is most known for his Man with No Name trilogy, as some people call it, The Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. And he also made a film that was of some acclaim, which was Once Upon a Time in the West. But Once Upon a Time in America is the film that I'm talking about. Sergio Leone directed it, and it was a movie about a kid they called Noodles, and it started off talking about these young Jewish street kids who were very poor in New York around the time of the early 1900s. Okay. And shows them as they get older and they become big time gangsters in New York during the Prohibition era. So very good movie. Like I said, starring Robert De Niro, James Woods is in there supporting, and great movie, great music, great locations, costuming, excellent movie. Let's see, Shawn has made a movie called Black Mass about Whitey that you haven't seen yet. Well, guess what, Shawn? I have not seen that yet either. You know what? I'm writing these things down. I'm writing this casino down right now while we're talking about Casino Black Mass. Here's an interesting thing. Since we're talking about this stuff, a movie that I had ended up not seeing for a while after it was made, I finally just saw it not that long ago, was a book about Danny Green, or book, well, there was a book about Danny Green, but a movie about Danny Green to kill the Irishman, or was it just Kill the Irishman? And that was about Danny Green, a mobster right up in Cleveland, Ohio. That was raising hell up there during the 70s. I did watch that movie, which, which I liked a lot. It was talked about the bombing wars that were going on up in Cleveland in the 70s. That was really, that was a good movie. It was exciting. Because, once again, it was a movie about somebody that I had only read about. Okay. And heard stories about from people who actually lived in Cleveland at that time. So that was something I've always had an interest in, Danny Green, and they finally came out with a movie about him. So that was cool. It's worth seeing. Definitely worth seeing, especially if you like mob movies, and if you like Ohio history and stuff, then it was good stuff. Shawn's saying, was there ever a good time to live in Cleveland? I don't know. I don't know if maybe the 50s were a good era or not in Cleveland. I don't know.
The early 80s wasn't too bad.
My wife grew up there.
The early 80s wasn't too bad.
The early 80s wasn't too bad?
Yeah, it wasn't until the 90s where it started getting crappy.
But my wife says,
actually the 70s, because that's when
the
people
70s
were still afraid of colors.
Yeah, 70s were when a lot of people moved out of Cleveland, or as they call it, white flight, moved out of Cleveland. But 70s were
But when I grew up
turbulent
in
era
Village, it
cities.
wasn't bad at all.
So my wife grew up in an ethnic neighborhood in Cleveland during the 80s and 90s, and shit started going downhill when? When did things take a downturn in your neighborhood that you grew up in?
The 90s.
In the 90s.
Late 90s.
Late 90s, things started going downhill in her old neighborhood. Which her neighborhood that she grew up in, when the real estate, what they call it, the real estate bubble or whatever popped, a few years back, when, millions of houses across the country started going into foreclosure and all that shit. The area my wife grew up in was actually the worst hit out of any neighborhood in the country. There are more foreclosures there than anywhere else in the U.S. So her neighborhood really got bad. So, we've been up there a couple times since then, and according to my wife, it's like a completely different place now, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
It, very different.
At least
and not good.
Is still there.
But that, I don't know. Probably the 50s were probably a good time. Cleveland was very productive. still at that time. But like I was talking about the other day, though, a lot of Rust Belt towns started really taking nosedives in the 70s, started losing their industries, and for all kinds of different reasons. And, you know, people who had money got the hell out of town. I mean, that happened in so many cities, so many big cities too. I mean, Cleveland and Detroit are the big ones that you can point to and say, you mean like them? And, you know, we were just talking about that. But, you know, I was reading that in town I grew up in, Massillon, that Republic Steel at one time employed half of the population of Massillon. It's a lot of damn employees when you got, you know, 30-some thousand people. That's a lot of employees for a factory. That's a big factory. But anyways, yeah. So, To Kill the Irishman, or Kill the Irishman, good movie, very enjoyable. Check it out. There were some other movies. There was a movie called Nitti the Enforcer. I think that's what it was called. About Frank Nitti. And I can't give you an honest review or anything on it because it has been ages since I saw it. I think it was made in the 90s.
I did a special
maybe early
for
90s.
Extra credit in American history on him.
No, my wife did a report in school on Frank Nitti, right?
Yeah, because we watched The Untouchables,
Oh.
and I had read...
And that brings up yet another mobster movie.
I had read several books on Prohibition and Al Capone.
Okay,
and
my wife was very interested in the mob stuff when she was a teenager.
Yeah, so
she wrote a report on Frank Nitti.
Yeah, and he did not get pushed off fall off the roof.
Let's see. Shawn says The Score. Haven't seen that one either. Let me go ahead and jot that down. I haven't seen The Score. Honey, have you seen The Score?
No.
Okay, haven't seen that one. But I have seen, let's see, I said Nitti. Let's see, there was a movie just plain old called Mobsters. Okay? It was just called Mobsters, I think. Maybe The Mobsters. I think Anthony Quinn might have been in that one.
Crap, there was a movie.
But it's called Mobsters. He was in that. But, yeah, my wife was just talking about something about reading books about the Untouchables, and bada boom, bada bing, there's another movie, The Untouchables, you know, that came out. And I'm wanting to guess the late 80s, okay? During, like, the late 80s and I think early 90s, there were quite a few mafia movies that came out. There's Nitti, The Enforcer, Mobsters came out. That movie, State of Grace, which was about the Irish mobsters in Hell's Kitchen. I have not seen The Score, though. I wrote that down as something to check out. So, you know, I'll be checking that out. Trying to think of what other good mobster flicks I've seen. I've had to have seen more. Goodfellas was good, though. What was nice about Goodfellas was that was a movie that, you know, followed several years, you know, so it was cool because you got to see the styles change, you know, the clothing, the fashion, you know, the music got to change with the story. That was a good one. Have I ever seen American Gangster? Yes, I have. I enjoyed that movie too. That is, let me make sure. All right.
Mobsters is mostly focuses on Lucky Luciano.
Okay. American Gangster, I believe that one was about the dude in Harlem bringing heroin in. Is that the one? Yeah, I watched that. I like that one too. My wife was just reading about the Mobsters movie I mentioned that was called Mobsters. And what was it about? You said primarily Lucky Luciano?
Okay, Al Capone was afraid of him.
Oh, yeah, Lucky Luciano was the top guy. I mean, when he was around, he was the guy. But I believe he's the one who assembled the huge meeting to try and unite all the families, you know, bring some order about to all these crime families. I think Lucky Luciano was the guy who did that and was well respected and feared. Yeah, the funny thing is, I believe the La Cosa Nostra is the Sicilian mafia, right? La Cosa Nostra is the Sicilian mafia. Well, I remember reading that Al Capone himself was not Sicilian. He was Neapolitan. No, that doesn't mean he was made out of 3 flavors of ice cream. That means he was from Naples, Italy. Okay. But, anyways. Yeah, I used to read about Al Capone quite a bit when I was a kid. Let's see, any other good gangster flicks you can think of there, Shawn, that you've seen? Or what was your opinion on American Gangster? Have I seen the Valachi papers? Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think if I ever saw it. I read the book. I definitely read the book, the Valachi papers. But I'm not sure. I'm writing it down, damn it. I'm not sure. Come on, pen. Work for me. My pen's name is Shawn. Damn it. And it's not working. The Valachi papers. I'm not sure I've seen that movie. I read the book, though. I have the book. I read a paperback version of it. Damn pen. Doesn't... You know, it's funny. I'll take my pen and I'll squiggle it on the side of my paper to see if it works, and it'll work fine. Then I start trying to write words and letters, then it doesn't want to work for me. Damn thing. I don't think I've seen the movie. Had Charles Bronson in it. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've seen it. Honey, did you see the Valachi papers?
No. They're probably on the desk.
Oh, my wife said it's probably on the desk. That's where all our papers tend to end up, is on the desk. Was the movie any good? Was it enjoyable? Because I don't think I've seen it. Like I said, I've read the book. But, yeah, I'd like to hear your opinion on the flick. Is it worth checking out? Yeah, oh my gosh. And then, you know, this makes me think of Valachi. Let's see, you liked it. You know, makes me think about these turncoats and rats and snitches with the mob. Makes me think of, oh, what the hell was that? Serpico? About the police officer who ended up testifying against his brother cops about corruption and stuff. That was Serpico, wasn't it? I think. That was a big deal. That was a true story. I know the other day we talked about Scarface when I was talking about Miami Vice and stuff, but there's another organized crime movie right there. Scarface. And there's also the movie that was kind of a remake of, okay? The original Scarface, okay? Which was more inspired by Al Capone or whatever. But, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of his name. Michael Cimino. I'm trying to think of who made Scarface. The director's name. Was it Michael Cimino? I'm not sure. Anyways, I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing his name right, but he wanted to make a modern Scarface. So he did Scarface only dealing with the modern organized crime problems, which involve cocaine, of course, during the 80s. I have not seen The Infiltrator. No. What is that about? What is The Infiltrator about, Shawn? Let me see here. Right now, Shawn, okay, right now I have invited you to join on this, so we can just talk face to face, pretty much. So, if you are so inclined, I guess accept the invite. No, I have not seen The Infiltrator. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about The Infiltrator, what the story is behind that. Okay, guy infiltrates organized crime in Miami. Sounds interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Damn it, you're giving me all these titles, which means I have to write down all this stuff. The Infiltrator, eh? Damn it. You're giving me all these ideas for movies to watch now. And none of these movies, most of these movies, let me see something here. Okay, I put in add thing. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I'm trying to add you. No answer from live video guest. What the hell is wrong with this thing? I'm trying to add you, Shawn. We'll figure this shit out here, buddy. They'll receive an invite to join your broadcast. I'm trying. Trying to add you here. I don't know what the hell's going on here. But no, that sounds interesting. Now, is that current day, present day Miami here, or is that? Let me click on you. Let me see what this does. I'm still trying to add you. I don't know. Okay, it says adding. We'll see if this works, Shawn. We'll see if we can get your butt on here. But is that present day Miami, or is that back in the 80s maybe, or 70s even? I'd be interested to know. But now I've got a whole list of movies down here that now I'm going to want to check out and see what the hell they're about. And it's your fault, Shawn. It's all your fault. Like I said, these movies, I can't watch them with the kids up, so I'll be watching them at nighttime. But, yeah. Let's see, it says it's adding you. I don't know what the hell that means exactly, Shawn. Well, if there's some kind of approval or something you have to put in, I don't know. Whatever you have to do, my brother knows how to do it. That's all I know. I don't know. Maybe it's not going to work for us today, but. So this guy infiltrates crime in Miami. Is this a true story, do you know? Or something like that? I'll go ahead and I'll try this camera thing again. Boom. Go ahead and I'll try the adding thing. I'm trying to add you. So, connecting. So this guy infiltrates crime in Miami. Is this a true story? Do you know? Hey, check it out. Hey. Something like that. I'll go ahead and I'll try this camera. Oh, a little late on there.
Let me shift this up. I don't know where to shift this at. That's fine. Gotta fix the roof.
Yeah. I see. Did you get mad and shoot a hole in your ceiling?
No, I think it's rain damage, I believe.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Check this out.
Yeah, it's kind of, I'm looking up at you.
Yeah.
Very intimidating. Very intimidating.
Hey, have you seen the movie Payback as well? It's got Mel Gibson in it.
Yes, I have seen Payback. Yeah, they got his boy or his, I don't know if it's
His
his
wife.
boy or his daughter.
His wife.
If they kidnapped it, oh, it was his wife.
Oh, you're thinking about Taken with Liam Neeson?
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. But the one with Mel Gibson don't they, throw up a ransom amount and he basically says, to hell with you guys. I'm gonna come after you with all I got.
Oh, that was Ransom.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got my movies mixed up. Teresa says hi to you.
Hello.
Yeah. This movie, The Infiltrator, though.
It had Bryan Cranston in it. You know who that is?
Who's it got in it?
Bryan Cranston.
No, I do not know. But that's not a surprise. I don't keep up with a lot of the modern Hollywood pictures, so there's a lot of people I don't know of now. I'm still watching movies from 30 years ago,
Did you finish The Lord of the Rings?
No. I have to get back to watching the damn Lord of the Rings. No, I've ended up veering off of them and watching stuff like Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah, this hurricane better not ruin our trip to North Carolina, man. Like that's never been in a hurricane, but hopefully it makes for some good boogie boarding.
Yeah, and you know what's weird is if you end up broadcasting from North Carolina during a hurricane, dude, you're going to be the second person on here broadcasting while there was a hurricane approaching them.
Wait, who else broadcasted while there was a hurricane approached?
My brother Dave in Hawaii last week. Yeah. There's a damn hurricane approaching, and, he's supposed to be getting ready to, bolster up his apartment and stuff or house for this hurricane coming, and he's wasting his time talking to me on wasted lunch.
What, does he live in Hawaii?
Yeah, he lives in a area called Kailua,
I heard
it's
pretty expensive to live out there.
Yeah, it's idiotically expensive, but he's in a branch of the military, so he gets some kind of stipend or something to, offset that cost. So if it weren't for that, he probably wouldn't be living there. Well, that's what put him there in the first place was the fact that he's in NOAA, which I never even heard of NOAA Corps until my brother joined them. Have you ever heard of NOAA?
Wait, is that? I think I have. Is that with the weather?
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just weather. I mean, it stands for National, let's see if I can get this right, Shawn. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And what my brother does is he pilots a ship and they facilitate scientists. So he pilots a ship and they go out on the water and the scientists, gather up fish and number them and count them and make sure they're doing okay and make love to fish or whatever they do.
The closest
But that's what.
Hawaii was Florida. So.
What's that?
The closest I've been to Hawaii was Florida.
Yeah, well, me too. Yeah, which means we haven't been close to it at all because that damn place is, even I forget how many miles it is from. I'm trying to think of how many thousands of miles. My brother said that Hawaii was from California, San Diego, the closest point on the continental U.S. It's still thousands of miles away. Jonah Bailey says, I got it correct. That is what NOAA stands for. Thank you, Jonah.
Yeah, well, my Gettysburg shirt. I think
I see.
I got lost.
Yeah. Let's see. Bobby Jane saying Shawn. So do you know
Yes.
Bobby Jane?
Bobby Jane is my cousin.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the show.
Joan is one of the guys who went to Gettysburg with me.
Oh, okay, cool. And obviously, he's also in the knowledge about NOAA also. So he's one of the 4 people out there who have heard of NOAA. So, but yeah, I guess technically they're a military branch, or they're a branch of the armed forces, but it's not like he carries a gun for work, though. He was in the Coast Guard, which, of course, then, they did have to use guns for that. Let's see. Jonah loves your shirt, Shawn. Says you guys had a great trip.
Yeah. Yeah. I kept hitting my head on the roof.
Yeah, what? Hitting your head on the roof?
Yeah.
Now, how did you hit your head? How did you bludgeon your skull again?
Well, basically, we were in a house, and it was in the attic of the house. And I guess the roof was coming down a bit.
Yeah.
And I kept hitting my head as I'm going downstairs.
Was this an abandoned house, Shawn?
Yeah. I think it used to be a field hospital in the Civil War. No, wait. Yes. It was a hospital in the Civil War.
Okay, I'm guessing this was not a designated tourist thing.
It was through the paranormal investigation that we went on.
Okay, paranormal investigation, which translates into you guys were trespassing, right?
Well, it was with an organization kind of like the Ghost Hunters.
Okay, so you were with an organization that trespasses.
We paid like $60 to go on the tour.
I'm just giving you hell, buddy. Giving you hell.
Now, there was a place that we could have gone where we would be trespassing, and apparently that was a felony to go on that property.
Let's see what Jonah has to say. He says, we went on a ghost hunt and the ceiling was low, and they warned us to watch our heads. Well, this dude smacked his head. Ha, 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 ha. So you didn't heed the warnings and went ahead. So if you hadn't seen a ghost before that, maybe the concussion brought about some spirits, huh?
It may have. My own house is haunted, man.
Okay, yeah. In fact, yeah, let's talk about that for everybody watching and who will end up watching. Okay, Shawn, you and your buddies went on a paranormal investigation, right?
Yes.
What kind of equipment did you have on you?
No, we had dowsing rods. I don't know the names of the equipment, but I do know it was like I guess maybe Jonah can explain it more. Is he still watching?
I don't know if he's watching or not, because he doesn't pop up on his comments pop up. Jonah, if you're still there, maybe you can help by letting us know what kind of gear you and Shawn and your boys had on you to do the paranormal investigation. Now, here's my question. You guys get there, still there. Maybe you can help by letting us know. Okay. A delay there, huh? Yeah. So you guys go on this hunt. Did any evidence come back from this investigation that indicated that something weird might be taking place at this location? Oh, no, I can't hear you.
We don't know until the evidence comes back.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's back in a couple weeks.
I think I hung him up.
And I don't know.
Okay, so this evidence you guys collected, it's being reviewed right now. That's what's happening?
Oh, I don't know. I have quite a few
I
Gettysburg.
think we went a couple weeks ago. Well, no, more than that. We went a little over a month ago, and they said they would send it to us 10 weeks from then. And I don't know if it's been 10 weeks or 6 weeks. It'll be here by next month, definitely.
Okay, because I'm interested to hear, what the results were from that.
I'm going to Menards.
I mean,
Okay.
it was just creepy because it used to be a field hospital. And then we went to a school, but it used to be a school. So
Now, was the school creepy?
yeah, but I think the only significance that the school had was, I believe it was either, I can't remember because this happened weeks ago. I believe it was the Union was trying to stick on the Confederates, and the Confederates were already there.
Okay.
About the attack ahead of time.
Did you hear or see a place called the Devil's Den?
Yes. Yes.
You did see it?
Yeah.
Any spookies?
And was it spooky at all?
We didn't hunt there. It was more. We only hunted at the hospital and the schoolhouse.
Okay.
Well, see,
here's your friend Jonah, and here's what they had on them. They had a spirit box, which I've heard of them, a K2 meter, don't know what the hell that is, a Mel meter, a laser grid digital recorder, thermal camera. You went on July 12th. You were told it would take 8 to 10 weeks. The 10-week mark is September 5th.
Okay, so
all right.
I might be here by next month.
Wow, Jonah, thank you for all that information. Very concise there. So the Mel meter, do you remember what the hell that was? I mean, I'd just be carrying around a bunch of electronic shit, and that's what I would be referring to it as.
What I did refer to it as.
What's that, Sean?
Pretty much what I would be referring to it as.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say it by name. I just described what it was, and if they needed it, I gave it to them.
Okay.
Now, something that was like a laser pointer, something that would read the temperature.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bye, babe.
Did you have an EMF with them?
Did you have an EMF thing? Maybe that's what the Mel meter was. Bye, babe.
Bye.
It could be. Like I said, I didn't really know the stuff by name, just what it did and looked like.
Okay.
EMF,
well, the EMF records the electromagnetic field.
Which
That's term I don't understand. That's like, does that mean it records like a temperature?
It would. I don't know. I guess the world we live in has magnetic fields.
Yeah. So
and this. If you get near a power line or something, it would register, I guess, or near like a fuse box.
You see, when I guess magnetic field, I think of a minefield for some reason.
Yeah. It's speaking of fields, okay. You guys went to Gettysburg, which, when we're talking about places in America where there's been much tragedy and death.
Yeah.
I mean, Gettysburg comes there around the top of the list here. I mean, how many people died there?
Like 52,000 people in like 3 days. Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, if a person were, of the believes in the supernatural, believes in spirits, Gettysburg would definitely be a creepy place to go to.
I mean, it's not all about the creepiness. It's also a very historic place. Even somebody that loves history could have a good time there. Great time.
Yeah. Let's see. Jonah says it was a lot of fun. They told us that the Mel meter would help read the temperature and spikes of the electromagnetic field surrounding us. Says, I love the paranormal and have done a good amount, and I got to click to see more. He's done a good amount of research. Thank you, Jonah. And Jonah, did you feel there was any kind of otherworldly spiritual presence when you guys were doing this investigation? Did anything feel funky to you, Jonah?
Do you believe in ghosts, Paul?
I'm on the fence about it. I really am. I go from feeling like there ain't shit, I don't believe in ghosts at all, to sometimes thinking, maybe there's something to it because I believe we have spirits. I
Yeah.
believe we have souls.
What about
So,
demonic forces?
what's that?
About exorcisms and stuff like that. Do you believe in that?
I know back in the days I did. I'm not so sure where I'm at now. I haven't done a lot of thinking about that stuff. I do believe that it's possible that people, I don't know, sometimes I believe it from the actions I've seen people take and the way people have acted. It sure as hell seemed like they were possessed at times. Whether or not they were, I can't say, but I've seen people do things and act in ways that were very contrary to the type of people that they were.
Their character.
What's that?
It just wasn't in their character. It didn't seem like something they would do.
Correct. Right. Yeah, I've seen people do things very out of character. And here's Jonah with some numbers between 46,000, 52,000 casualties, like you were saying. Yeah, I mean, so my thinking is let's say ghosts do exist.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that there'd be a couple people pissed off or hanging about Gettysburg. Did you have any strange sensation or feeling of even some kind of sense of epic respect when you were at Gettysburg? What's that?
I know Jonah was in the battlefield when it was kind of getting dark.
Yeah. I mean, could you feel like, could you almost feel that something epic happened there?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Especially seeing Pickett's charge, where Lee ordered the men to run on an open field. Didn't work out too well.
Right. I mean, I just wonder, because I haven't been there, and I wondered if I ever went to a place like that, if there would almost be a sensation like, oh my gosh, I can almost feel that something tremendous happened here. You know? Okay, Jonah's saying he did, and he can explain his experience. Well, by all means, share with us, Jonah, when you get the chance. And poor Jonah's, typing in all kinds of stuff here, but it seems like he's good at it. Yeah, I just think, something that big to have happened in one place, I think, would I feel something? Or would it just feel like, oh, I'm on a farm, I'm in farmland? Or would it feel like, gosh, I can almost sense that gigantic event that happened here? And, because, I mean, what's it look like? A field with some trees?
Well, the battlefield's been preserved. They have cannons and statues all over the place. They have monuments. Okay. They even have tour guides. You can definitely feel that something happened.
Okay.
They even have little markers that tell you what happened at that specific spot.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of creepy. You know. I'm not being disrespectful to the men who laid down their lives. I'm just saying it's creepy to know that, the ground you're on soaked up some blood, man.
Yeah.
You're walking on grass and shit that, fed off of death.
And there were hundreds of unknown soldiers, basically.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, and the numbers involved are just insane. You
It's hard
know,
to determine Confederate numbers because I believe they either destroyed or didn't keep a good record of the numbers of men that either died or were at battle that day. So it's kind of hard to estimate.
yeah. Now Pickett's charge was that a maneuver that was almost suicidal?
I believe it was half. I believe it was like 2/3 of the men died that charged on that open field. I believe it was 2/3. I could be wrong, but I believe it was 2/3 of the men.
Man, that's a lot of people, and those were Confederates then
Yes,
that did that.
yeah.
Okay, because my Civil War history recollection is not good. It's been a long time since I've read about it.
Have you seen the movie Gettysburg?
Yes, it's been a while since I've seen it. I did see it. It was a really good movie. Um, a guy like you, Shawn, would obviously know a hell of a lot better than I would as to how close that was to being historic, and that's another question. You've seen the movie, you've obviously done lots of reading about Gettysburg. Did the movie seem to be somewhat factual retelling of it?
The funny thing is, I actually seen the movie Gettysburg the first time I was at Gettysburg.
Really?
It was pretty factual. I mean, the only thing inaccurate I could probably think of is maybe the dialogue, because we don't know what they said back then.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I doubt there was somebody sitting around at all times ready to write and record, what these guys are saying. We know the decisions they made and the actions they took. We do know that, but it seemed fairly accurate, though, as far as what happened.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to a movie portrayal of Gettysburg, then Gettysburg seems to be the go-to movie about that battle.
Well, I think the History Channel also made a movie about Gettysburg as well. So there's been two movies, and the History Channel is more documentary than.
Okay. Now, how long did do you know how long the whole, since, from the time two people shot at each other to the time, the fighting was done, what kind of a time period that was?
Like, how many days did that last?
Yeah.
3 days. 3 days.
3 days.
It took 3 days for 52,000 people to pass.
That's a lot of people wiped out that quick. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty fast. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. So you get to Gettysburg, you walk around there. I mean, this must be a pretty decent sized space, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Now, to put this into perspective, do you remember September 11th?
Yeah.
That was with 3,000 people. Gettysburg was 52,000.
Yeah, well, what's funny about you saying that, Shawn, is the second we started talking about this, and, I asked you how many people perished, in my mind, immediately I was drawing comparisons with 9/11 and Gettysburg immediately, although, of course, the big difference is most of the people who died in 9/11 were civilians, of course.
Yeah.
But that is what I started thinking of in terms of numbers, because I was thinking, what kind of a scale here. Let's see, Jonas says, all right, I went out on the battlefield by myself, and I decided to take a walk. As time went on, I sat down by a Union artillery position and I decided to play Civil War battle sounds. Let me click see more here. I might have to, oh, I can scroll here. After about 15 minutes of that, I decided to walk back but listen to Civil War marches. I was playing a march and realized it was Confederate, and I didn't want to piss off the North, so I changed it to Yankee Doodle. I was almost to the bottom of the hill I walked down when I got a cold chill and felt like I wasn't alone. I heard the grass rustle around as if someone was walking. I then heard a whisper in my ear saying, "Hey." I turned around and watched a mist rise out of the ground and form into a Confederate soldier. I turned to run because it started running at me. I had major goosebumps. That was so awesome. I later realized that I was playing Yankee Doodle at the base of the hill where Confederates charged up to attack a Union position. How's that for crazy, wild stuff?
Has something like that ever happened to you, Paul?
Not to that extent, no. I'll tell you, as far as any kind of ghostly type thing that happened, I was, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years old one time, and I fell asleep downstairs at the house in a room that we called the foyer of the house we lived in. Big old house, over 100-year-old house. And I woke up and there was, I'll say, a being, human shaped, that was bright white. Okay. And I had done some praying that night about seeing an angel and ended up opening my eyes to this bright white form of a person, okay, right in front of me. And I saw this person or form, like I said, they were glowing bright white. And I closed my eyes because I was scared and prayed that I wouldn't see what I was seeing, and then opened my eyes. And that person, form, entity, spirit, whatever it was then gone. So that is the most paranormal type thing that's ever happened to me. And I think, now that you ask me about it, growing older and being an adult and looking at things more as superstitions, I haven't reflected on that too much, because you ask me, well, do you believe in ghosts? And then I'm like, I don't know about that stuff. And it's clear that obviously I have forgotten and not reflected upon that instant that happened in my life. I obviously don't reflect on that very often. Probably wouldn't have thought about it for, who knows, maybe years, until somebody asked me what you just asked me. So maybe if I thought about that more, my perspective would be a lot different. Right now, I'm kind of wishy-washy, But that's a problem with getting older, for a lot of us. It can take the fun out of life too. You really can. You can get old fast in the brain, not physically, because you can't do anything about physical aging. Well, I mean, you can exercise, try and eat right, and stave off the effects of aging somewhat. But you do have more control over aging in the mind and spirit than you do over the body, and having to deal with regular life so much and be practical and pragmatic about so much stuff. I think we, as an adult, you end up losing some of the open-mindedness that you have as a child or even as a youth, you know. And who knows, maybe that's something for you to think about too, because, you know, you being 19, you are right at that age where you're going to be hopping into a world where you're going to be facing things with the attitude of, okay, well, this is horse shit and I got to deal with this. I'm not going to get caught up on this little piddly shit. That's all make believe. And it's very easy to lose some of that open-mindedness that you have as a younger person. And then you spend a lot of your adulthood trying to get that back. You know, that's why people collect antiques. They collect stuff from when they were a kid. They see it and they'll pay good money for it because they want to relive that youthful. They want to relive their youth. They want to get back to that. They want to feel young again. So, it's, you know, that's one of the things about life. It can be really hard to, you know, and I have kids, and it becomes tough for me to put myself in their shoes and try and think from their viewpoint on things. I'm so removed from it now. And, you know, I do a lot of wishing that, oh my gosh, I wish I could understand more about where my kids are coming from. That would help me so much with communication. But I've been an adult for so long and very practical and let's take care of business kind of person that I've gotten very far away from that that sense of imagination. And some people feel that when it comes to the spirit stuff we're talking about, that children have, you know, I don't know if it's true or not, that children have more of a connection, you know, because they haven't grown closed-minded like adults. So, let's see, Jonah's saying there are many things in this world we can't fully understand. Life is a great journey. We have so many paths to choose from. And that is the truth, Jonah. How old is Jonah, anyways?
18.
18. Wow, I'll tell you what, Jonah seems like a sharp dude. Seems pretty sharp, like yourself there.
Now, in my house,
Jonah's what's that?
My house, me and my mom, and I don't know the opinion of my sister, believe in ghosts, and my brother and dad do not believe in ghosts.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my wife definitely she believes, and a lot of my kids do, but I tend to a lot of the time be the guy like, nah, it's bullcrap. You know, I do. But then there's some times where I'm like, maybe there's something to it. Maybe. Because I do believe we have souls. Okay, I do believe that. I think there's too much different about us from all the other animals running around. Okay, there's just too much that makes us special. And in some ways, that specialness we have as humans is bad, a bad specialness. We're capable of such dastardly things, but yet we're capable of great, wonderful, compassionate things as well. You know, it's, you know, it's so that to me makes me believe that, you know, we're special and that we have souls and spirits and something that separates us from the rest of the animals, you know.
Now, I definitely believe in souls.
Yeah.
You have souls and. Yeah.
Now, you know, this is actually this is a very interesting wasted lunch. I think we've touched upon some pretty cool stuff this time. Wow. I mean, we've gotten pretty damn deep here, dude. Man, Gettysburg, other ghosts, spiritual phenomena, Speaking of which, since you asked me about ghostly encounters, Shawn, have you personally had some sort of paranormal encounter that told you, yes, ghosts exist?
Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you something real quick.
All right.
My mom bought something for the house. And it's because of me, because I personally think my house is haunted. Here, right
All
here.
right.
It says, home sweet haunted home.
Did you
Yeah.
get that?
No, my mom bought it because this is a joke on me, because I personally think this house is haunted. Every night, when I ask my parents, did you call my name last night? Nope. But I keep hearing my name getting called. And I thought it was just me until my sister Trent has said she's heard her name being called, and my cousin comes over and says he hears his name getting called. So that's 3 people saying that they hear their names called and they're the only ones up.
That's weird, man. That's weird.
I've had bows and
And
arrows
you
thrown at me. One night.
wait, you had shit thrown at you?
Yes. And
Wow.
I'm going to show you. One night, I snuck a tea or a pop. I snuck something I wasn't supposed to have, basically.
Okay.
And yeah, I sneak it from right here. That's what it was. I go back and lay down, and very loud. I'm not going to do it as loud as that was, but I basically hear that. The door smacked my brother's dresser. And I think it's my mom, and I get out to my mom. Nobody's there. I go to my mom's bedroom to ask her about it. She knows nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been doors slamming open more than once. My cousin even reported it happening. My cousin James said that he was sitting in the living room. And he was up and down as I was in the bathroom. That he saw a shadowy figure walk from the dining room table all the way to this desk right here, walk back. And he tells me about it. And we go back to the family room right here. We go back to see that the back door was wide open, and it was unlocked and wide open, basically.
Damn.
Yeah. What about Vinny? What's Vinny believe? Does he believe in ghosts?
You know, I'm not sure. I mean, he definitely believes we have souls. He believes in spirits. Believes in God. I don't know if he believes in ghosts, so I'm not sure
Do you believe in
where
God,
he
Paul?
stands. What's that?
Do you believe in God, Paul?
You know, that's a tough one. There again. I've went through some things in my life where my faith has been shaken to where it didn't exist anymore. But lately, I've been having a kind of a tugging at me, saying I'm there, kind of thing. You know, if that makes any sense to you.
I definitely believe, but I haven't been to church in a long, long time, man. Like, it's been almost 3 years, maybe, since I've been in a church service. So.
Oh yeah, I haven't been to church for years myself either. I was brought up going to church, you know, my whole childhood. And then I think, you know, in my youth, my teenage years, I was definitely rebelling.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of rebellion there, but I had faith for many years. And then, you know, some things have happened in my life, like I said, that have brought it crumbling down. But lately there's been, you know, to where I was just very scientifically minded.
Mm-hmm.
And basically This is all it is. We're just here and here to try and survive and this and that. But lately there has been a kind of tugging at my sleeve, kind of, hey, I'm here, kind of feeling, sense going on. So, I have been trying to listen to that. I'll put it like that.
No, I do
have
believe
been.
that it is a yes or no question. There either is or there isn't. There is no in between, and we won't know 100% for sure until, well, we die.
Yeah, and that's a problem for, practically minded people because, and I think I would say that most people struggle with because, it's like, I hate to compare it to this. It sounds so cheap, but it's like most things in life, Shawn. When you're about to make a big change in your life, whether that's purchasing something, choosing to live somewhere completely different, what you want is kind of a testimony or advice from somebody who's been there. Let's say you lived in Phoenix for 4 years and I know you and I'm thinking about moving to Phoenix. Well, what would I do before I made a decision? I'd ask you, hey, what the hell's Phoenix like, right? I'd ask your opinion about it. Well, and what you just said about the not being sure until you're dead thing, that's a problem I think a lot of people have is, that the people who know for certain, the ones who have perished or whatever, they're not giving any feedback to us, Shawn.
Yeah.
There aren't too many write-ups. That's kind of a little bit final. You know what I mean? Now, there have been books wrote, though. There have been books and near-death experience recorded. So I guess that's as close as you're going to get. But, in life, what you want to know before you make big decisions is you want to talk to people who have been there, made those decisions, what their outcomes were, so you can avoid any pitfalls or make sure that change is right for you. Well, that's the problem with faith is, I mean, the people who know the answers or don't know for sure, or whatever, they're dead. And it's kind of hard to get an opinion from,
But don't get me wrong. I definitely do believe in God, but it really is a yes or no question. But I do believe there is. But
yeah. Well, once again, that's a point that's a part of me that has gone back and forth. And I wish I had the conviction to firmly say yes or no is how I feel, but it's something I wrestle with, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that. I'm sure there's probably millions of people across this world who wrestle with that same question.
yeah.
But that's right where I'm at for right now, So, but I try and keep my ears open, and my eyes open and my heart open to messages, we'll say, I guess.
I've been trying to get back to church lately. I just haven't had the ride to go.
And I do believe that, when I was more spiritual minded, I did believe that, I understood the purpose of people meeting in temples and going to churches. I understood that. But I do believe that with whatever faith a person has, if they have faith, that, they definitely have the option of exploring that and growing on their own too, outside of an organized establishment, I mean, if a person is a Buddhist or whatever, I believe they can do that at home. Person is a Christian, they can read their Bible at home, that sort of thing. But I can also, what's that?
I think it's a sense of community that a lot of people enjoy. If they could go to a church ask maybe the pastor for advice or just hold hands and sing with people. I think people enjoy that. And
Yeah, I think you're right. I do. I agree. It's yeah, I understand why the churches exist, and you know, there are so many different ones, so many different beliefs. You know, and I've wondered before too, is, you know, wouldn't it be strange if we've got everybody bickering and arguing about different religions, and what if it happens to be that people are worshiping the same
God,
God?
in a different way.
Right,
Yeah, I've thought about
right. What if, you know, could that be it? Maybe that's it.
think about that all the time. Kind of like, what if we're all right, but we're just interpreting it differently?
Yeah. And you got people, you know, I mean, people who bicker about it. You're always going to have people, and this isn't even on beliefs involving religion or spirituality. You're always going to have people who want to bicker about stuff. Period. You know, you got a brand of people that like to be right above all else. They like to be right about things, and you got them in all areas. You got them regarding hell, automobiles. You got people who stand behind a certain manufacturer of cars, and I mean, and they will fight and argue with people over any other brand. You got people like that with their sports. Yet alone when it comes to matters of belief, you know, matters of you know, spirituality, then you got people who will fight, you know, very, very physically and radically over that. And you got people who will take advantage of people believing a certain way and use that as a rallying cry for war too. You know, I mean, that's been done throughout the ages.
What is it? Now,
You
if
know.
I'm wrong believing in God, I'm just going to die. But if an atheist is wrong, he's going to be burning in hell. So that's kind of very dark, but that's kind of true. If I'm wrong, nothing's going to happen to me. But if you're wrong, man.
Well, I can understand that too. I could, you know, with the, so what you're talking about is a sort of life insurance.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, if I'm right, if I'm wrong and God isn't real, I'm just going to die and be there for the rest of nothing. But if somebody who doesn't believe is wrong, they're not going to have a good time down there.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I said, I wish I had more conviction either way, even just of that. But you know, I've had some rough years. The last 10 years have been pretty rough with lots of huge life-changing events taking place. And, you know, so I'm just, you know, at a point in time in my life where there are a lot of question marks out there. And hopefully, you know, hopefully some of these question marks, you know, will be answered and they won't be there.
What about Teresa? Does she believe in God?
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, she's there.
And
Let's see, Jonah has an opinion.
What everybody believes, because like I said, I believe I'm not wrong, but I could be, you know, so I got to kind of respect, you know.
Oh, yeah. Let's see, Jonah's got an opinion on this. Let's see what he has to say. Jonah says, religion is a powerful thing for so many cultures. People worship their idols or animals, but at the end of the day, I personally believe there's one God at the end of the day. I have had things happen. Whoa! I have Now I gotta find him again. Okay. He says, I've had things happen where my faith has been shaken and I didn't know what to believe, and I have had things happen where something has said to me, I'm here.
I think that happens to everybody, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think it makes
Well, that.
I think it makes your faith stronger if you go through that. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of what Jonah's touching on. I mean, like I said, he's talking about some of the stuff I've talked about. I was raised to believe one way. Okay.
Yeah.
And then just me witnessing and experiencing some major rough changes kind of took away any beliefs. And now I'm starting to believe, maybe, like I said about that, maybe people are worshiping the same person here and they just don't know it, because the people, let's say you grew up, the people in Polynesia or whatever, completely cut off from the Middle East, which is the home to, three of the main belief systems in the world today.
Listen, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity.
Right.
They all have origins in the Middle East.
Right. And then you take places like Polynesia or somewhere where people were completely cut off for centuries.
Yeah.
From ever hearing about any of these deities or beliefs or whatever you want to say, however you want to word it. And it's like, was it these people's fault that they lived out there on these islands? So they shouldn't, they shouldn't have a chance of redemption if that's what you believe redemption falls into one of those three categories, and stuff like that has made me think, well, if there is a God, then I think maybe
that it all comes down to them believing in the same God. It's just how they interpreted what he's trying to tell them.
And that's what I've wondered, if there is a God, then that'd be pretty cheap and crummy that these people just happen to be born in the wrong place to not have a chance. You know what I mean? So,
I have some atheist friends, and they tell me, it's kind of sad that you grew up in a Christian home because you didn't have another point of view or another opinion. And I go, it's also, I mean, yeah, that's true, but it's also kind of sad that you grew up in an atheist home where you, again, did not have that other point of view or other perspective of what else was out there that was never told to you. So,
yeah, I think, Shawn, that when it comes to matters like this, my opinion really is, in regards to respecting people's opinions, and this is how I live my life, that, and I really do, and I don't care really what it's labeled as, but I respect that somebody might believe completely differently than me, whether they're an atheist or Muslim or whatever, and that's fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they don't cram something down my throat, I can handle being respectful, because I know I personally am not going to cram something down their throat, because one, I don't believe it's my job to convert anybody into any specific belief. And I don't believe it's somebody else's job to work on me to try and convert me either. So I can, with that philosophy, okay, in life, I can handle being around many different types of people and not having any problem, because I am not, if somebody said, Buddha bless you or something like that, I'd be saying thanks, because it's a good thing, you know. I mean, I might not be a Buddhist, but they are, and still going to appreciate that they said something good for me. So, you know, or God bless you, thank you. You know, I mean, as long as they're not, like I said, grabbing me by the neck and this is what you should do, then I'm pretty cool about it. You know, it's a big world. It's lots of different people. You know, I have love for my fellow man, and you know, I love my fellow brothers and sisters out there, in all the shapes, colors, and forms. You know, I love people, and I don't get hung up on stuff that a lot of, you know, that they talk about on the news so often that they try and divide people on, you know, politically. I don't fall for those traps, you know.
Divide and conquer, man. That's all they want, is to divide you so they can conquer you. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, divide and conquer. It is. I mean, when you got the common people fighting, then the people at the top can get away with doing whatever they want to do, is my opinion.
Yeah.
That the whole left-right picture of things is false. I believe there are a lot of people in that. For one thing, I think it cheapens humanity when people are labeled left or right. I think it's cheap. It cheapens a person and who they are when you say they're a liberal, they're a conservative. I think it is. I have a problem with branding and labeling people. I don't have a problem that I do it. I have a problem with people that do it. I think it's a way of saying us versus them. And I believe that the politicians love for people to live according to that mentality. You know, that they love for the commoners to be at each other's throats. Because if that's where everybody's attention is, then it isn't on the people that are doing the real decision making. You know, then, you know, I believe the majority of Americans, anyways, have a lot more in common than they have differences.
Yeah, because we all watch the same movies, watch the same TV shows, listen to the same music, read the same books. Some even read from the same Bible, but the media wants you to think that you have more differences than they do in common.
Yeah. And, you know, the media's politically motivated.
Yes, they are mainly to the left. That, I mean, I don't mean to get political, but they are.
Yeah, and I mean it's very, yeah, it just seems to me it's all about division, and I don't like division. I like seeing people get along. You know, that's what I strive for. I live my life. I don't change my opinions for everybody, but I also am not crusading to force my opinion on anybody else either. You know.
But people always ask me, do I respect atheism? No. But respect would mean to admire. I think the word would be more tolerate than respect. You know.
Okay.
To admire something would mean that you kind of also follow what they believe, and I don't. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just irate. That's what that means. How would
well, I believe people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, and that goes back. I believe, Shawn, that, you know, and I have friends that some of the core beliefs in a person's life, I mean, are very contrary to mine, but we are still friends. We still respect one another because it's just not an issue, because we feel that the other person deserves to be able to believe how they want to. And, we don't feel that, they know they're not going to change me. I'm not going to change them. I know it. And there's enough stuff that we can enjoy being around each other as human beings, that some of these things just are not issues. They just aren't, But that is what that is, I guess.
He said that his house is haunted and his parents, they don't believe me. He said he stayed a night with him. That night, his doors.
Well, your audio's cutting out, buddy. Try it again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I think you missed what Jonas said. Did you read when he said that his house is haunted and his parents don't believe?
Yeah, I missed that.
He said he stayed the night at my house and doors were wide open. Yeah. So.
The doors were wide open.
Yeah. Wide open and objects were moving. He said it's crazy. It is crazy, man.
Now was this at your house or his house?
My house.
Oh, wow.
He said that doors were wide open and objects were moving. It's crazy. And it doesn't happen every night. It just kind of happens, I guess, whenever it feels like showing up.
Now, do you live in an older home?
The original home was built, that side was built in the 50s. This side of the house was all built in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. I just seen this pop up from Jonah. Sad thing is, the news is nothing but hate. Everything you hear is someone who was raped or someone who has committed a horrible crime. Politics has also caused our nation to be divided. Social media tries to brainwash us. So to speak on what to believe, I respect people's opinions and beliefs, but there's so much hate in this world, and it's insane. We should love one another. As the Bible states, as long as there is man on this earth, there will be wars full of hate. Yeah, I do believe there will always be war. Does that sound like, and maybe that sounds contrary to what I've been saying about loving my brothers and sisters out there. It might sound contrary to it, but no, I believe there will always be war. Do I want there to always be war? Hell no. But I believe, war is something that doesn't go out of style. It's never calmed down. It's never calmed down.
Technology will invention, with like drones and more stronger nukes. It's scary.
Yeah, even in this, what we considered an enlightened age, where people are more tolerant of other people's opinions, there will still be war, because just because there are so many people. Jessica, how we doing, honey? Says, all love this way. Thank you, and love back to you. War is something that, unfortunately, yes, it's always going to be with us, because not only do people not always get along, but there are people out there who radically do not get along and radically want to change, not only want to convert their friend, but they want to convert millions of people. We've seen this time and time again. I mean, I don't think I even have to mention, one of the wars that was, so many people died from in World War II over an ideology where somebody was trying, did convert lots of people in Germany. over to a way of thinking that, you know, ended up resulting in millions of deaths. And I'm sure that, you know, these people who ended up aiding and being part of this hate machine that ended up killing millions of people, I'm sure these weren't people who were all born, dyed in the wool killers, you know. I mean, it's terrible. And that brings me back to where I think we have souls, because that might sound like a terrible example, but it shows just how far a human being can go against, you know, the extremes in which they can go. And in this case, obviously for evil. I mean, when you're wanting to completely eradicate a whole ethnic and religious group of people, that's evil, you know.
Yeah.
But then there's, you know, there have been people who laid down their lives trying to promote peace too. A lot of the people who have promoted peace and got really big attention over promoting peace and love between different people end up dying for those beliefs. They get assassinated, you know.
Now, you said you've never seen the Blue Bloods, correct?
What's that?
You said you've never seen the Blue Bloods, correct?
Correct. I've never seen it.
Well, there's a quote from Blue Bloods that states that most wars boil down to, "I'm taking your house, and God said I can." That's true. That's what most wars boil down to.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's been plenty of warfare and plenty of bloodshed with that, and you know, and there's been a lot of rulers, senates, governments taking advantage of the common people's belief and using that as a rallying point to get people to lay down their lives and kill one another too. You know, unfortunately, people have been, you know, misguided and
Misguided.
terrible. But what's that?
Misguided and misused.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, terrible. Thank you. My wife just got me a pop. Thank you.
Got you something else.
Wow. But oh, I've got a new toilet seat, guys. Here. This is yeah. I mean, all this big talk we've been having, and this is now what I'm going to show off here. Toilet seat here. Oh my gosh, this seems like a solid one, huh? Seems like it might actually stay together. Wow. Toilet seats. All this talk about the world, all these epic things we've talked about, now I'm showing off a toilet seat.
Hey, Paul, how old is Helen?
Helen? Did you ask how old Helen is?
Yeah.
She's 7.
Is she in school?
Yep, she's got school. Yeah, big 2nd grader now.
Does she like it?
She does. And unfortunately, like so many other kids, she's got to deal with people picking on her.
Yeah.
You know. That's something. That's another thing along with war.
Especially middle
What's
school.
that?
With that.
That's something like the wars never changes. There's always going to be bullies, you know. And now more than ever, you hear people, all this anti-bully talk, anti-bullying programs, anti-bully this, anti-bully that, which, you know, I mean, hell yeah, I'm all behind it. I've always hated bullies.
Yeah.
Okay. And even when, you know, I mean, when I was a younger kid in elementary school, I had to deal with a little bit of bullying. And then there became a point in time in my life where, you know, people really had to do some real decision making if they wanted to choose to mess with me. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, it where I didn't have many troubles. But then at that point in my life, when I seen other people bullied, I couldn't handle that shit, and I would rally and behind the underdogs. You know, I had always had a problem with that. But despite how many programs we have, there's always going to be
I wonder if it's
assholes.
gonna get better after school, but it's not. Some people just can't grow up. They got that kind of where they have to always make a comment.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see, you know, bullying ever being eradicated.
Here's another gift.
You know, but I do think, you know, at least the schools are a little more proactive on coming up with tools to help the kids who are being bullied
Happy
to
early
take
birthday.
care of it. Oh, thank you. You know, I was talking about that wallpaper earlier, and this is what gets brought home. Wallpaper paste and a sponge. So what that means is get off your fat ass and go finish that wallpaper. That's what that means.
I wouldn't say that. I would take it out.
Oh, my
with a
wife
nice
said
butt.
she wouldn't tell me that.
No, because I don't think you have it.
Oh, she's
Fat
saying
butt.
she doesn't think I have a fat butt.
Different.
Well, we're not going to talk about what she thinks of my butt on the show. But anyways, let's see. Here's Jonah coming in here again. Jonah says, I believe one of the saddest wars we fought in the most recent times would be Vietnam. We sadly lost over 58,000 casualties for a cause that was not supported by the American people and for a cause. Oops, I'm trying to click on more here. I'm trying to click on see more. Okay, 58,000 casualties for a cause that was not supported by the American people and for a cause that we should not have gotten involved with. I had the opportunity to take my grandpa to the Vietnam Wall in July to help him find closure for the things he had to do over there, and watching his close friends die beside him. He's my best friend, and he has given me such great advice. Well, sounds like he's a great person. See, hi Scott, how we doing? We're talking about darn near, we're talking about all kinds of stuff. And yeah, I'll take my hat off. Speaking of veterans, Scotty's watching and served in the armed forces, was in the Army. So much
Jonah's
respect
actually
to.
going into the Air Force.
What's that?
Jonah's actually going into the Air Force.
Well, good for him and good for us. Thank you, Jonah. I hope you know, you might end up finding a real career. Let's see. Scott says he's going stir crazy. Well, that's why we're going to have to end up bringing you on the show, Scott. I look forward to doing that. Shawn, once I get Scott on here, I believe it's going to be a good show. I think it's going to be, you know, you guys will get to meet Scott. It's going to be some interesting stuff. Scott, we've been talking about warfare. We've been talking about paranormal activities. We've been talking about mobster movies. I don't even know how in the hell I'm going to come up with a title for this video. It's just ran the gamut here of categories. This has been a huge blob of talk that has covered so many things: spirituality, right and wrong, good versus evil. It's just been wild. And yeah, I have no idea how I'm going to sum this up for a title. No idea. This is going to be either I am going to have to come up with something so stupid, or the title for this video is going to be like 20 paragraphs long. Okay. It's going to be, I could make an anagram, you said? Teresa said I could make an anagram, would be huge. Let's see. Definitely saw some paranormal. I'm clicking on that. Scott Harwood saw some paranormal stuff in Santa Cruz. Oh my gosh. And yeah, Scott, you can either choose to share some of that right now, or you can wait until we can get you over here into my kitchen studio sometime and do the show from here. That's up to you, dude. But yeah, Scott saw some freaky stuff when he was in California. But yeah, I really look forward to having Scott on the show. Shawn, I know you're going to like it. Your buddy Jonah's probably going to dig it too. It might get a little wild. It's definitely going to get a lot weird. But wow.
Not to mention Scott is going to
No, back to this.
Let's see. Oh, Scott.
More. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Scott's going to save it for the studio when he shows up. So I'm going to have coffee waiting for him. What were you going to say, Shawn?
I was going to say more people actually died, more Americans died in the Civil War than in World War II.
Damn. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. Oh my gosh. It's funny you mentioned that because it's like we went in a huge ass circle here, Shawn. We started at Gettysburg, buddy. And we just went. What's that?
I think we started with the Mafia movies.
We did. We started with the mob movies, and then when I brought you on, when I split screened you, I think we were talking about Gettysburg. How we went from mob movies to Gettysburg, I don't know. We even talked about hurricanes for a second.
Yeah.
And
I have a great subject.
Oh no, my wife has a great subject. What is your great subject, Teresa?
Wrapping it up and putting my new toilet seat on.
Oh, my wife believes that wrapping up the show and putting on a toilet seat would be a great subject.
And then entering the family room.
Sounds like a shitty idea to me.
Wallpaper.
Literally. Oh, and then wallpapering with poopy hands, huh?
It'll make it stick.
Oh, she said it'll make it stick. But in actuality, I think I will wrap up the show. It's been great having you on here, Shawn. Thanks for being on here, dude. Look forward to getting you on here again sometime. What's that, buddy?
So thanks for having me.
Oh, well, hey, man. Welcome to the show. Probably end up dragging you on here again. Especially, would love to see you in North Carolina. Hopefully you won't be getting hurricaned and shit. And we won't get to see you getting blown across the street or something. Hanging onto a stop sign and shit, turned sideways. With your clothes getting ripped off, shit in your pants.
That wouldn't be pretty.
No, it wouldn't be pretty. It'd be pretty shitty. Jonah said more people have died in the Civil War than any we have fought in since then. Yeah, see, that's the thing about the comments. They end up popping up kind of late. So I've already talked about you getting your clothes ripped off and shitting yourself by the time that comment came through.
Yeah, the Civil War was like
almost
a million.
That's just, the numbers are mind-boggling. It's terrible. It's terrible it happened, but I don't know. I don't even want to say it was necessary, but it happened. But I'm going to wrap it up right here because, damn, let's see. Jonah said, thanks for a great show. He looks forward to many more. Well, thank you for being involved in it, Jonah. And thanks Scott for popping on here. And thank you, anybody who watches this. And I look forward to seeing all you guys. Until then, take care of yourselves and stay out of trouble.
You too.
What's that, brother?
You have a good day, and you stay out of trouble too.
I'm gonna try, dude. And I'll see you later, all right?
All right, see you. Tell Phineas.
Bye.